many of the knowledge gaps that Ajra has outlined sort of will be captured in the studies that we'll be doing. I'll just broadly outline the research frame of the project that Haro has mentioned. We are looking at the system of rice intensification as a socio-economic and technical movement in India. That is the title of the project. It's funded by NWO and WOTRO. So when you look at this setting, the SRI, in spite of having radical differences within the scientific community and not having clear endorsement, it has spread widely across several countries and much so in India. In India now we have about 1 million hectares under SRI, acres under SRI now. So in spite of the scientific establishments firmly backing it up, it has spread. And that is where now we are looking SRI as not as a package of technical practices, but as a kind of a socio-technical phenomena, and assuming some shapes of a movement. So that is the setting in which the project is starting off. And then we take the conceptual frame. We look SRI as a system of knowledge, innovation, and communication, not just as a package of technical practices. This is kind of a departure conceptually. And then the project sets out to look into socio-economic factors, institutional mechanisms, communication pathways, learning processes, and technical considerations, and that have contributed to the process of spread of SRI. And then the research design is rooted into both sociology and economics, science and technology studies, and then it follows it integrates qualitative and quantitative techniques, and then it's rooted into intensive field level studies. At the same time, we do take up a comparative study across regions in the country and different agroecological regions. So this kind of breadth that we want to capture in the research methodology. It's about it's 4 years time frame, and then it consists of 4 PhD students and then 2 postdocs plus several scientists within Wageningen and India being part of the study. Broadly, 3 research questions we are pursuing. One, looking at the technical content of SRI in terms of what kind of variations that we see in terms of adaptation in different regions, in terms of the local and regional context, in terms of agroecological context, in terms of the institutional context, and different actors involved in the spread. We want to capture the variations across these contexts. And then want to profile what is that is contributing to this this spread, what accounts for this spread. So in that we look into institutional, social, economic, and technical mechanisms and the processes involved that have contributed to the spread of SRA. And then we also look at how the contexts shape SRA. Within that, particularly looking at the adoption practices or disadoption practices, or the way people mold SRA to their local context. So how the specific contexts that I mentioned earlier shape SRA. This is one particular area that we are looking at into. And then finally, we look at what kind of transformations that SRA affecting in the local economies, in the systems, in the technical practices, in the institutions, and all that. So broadly, we follow these 3 research questions. And then this is expected to result into a better understanding of the processes behind SRI as a movement. Second, it also is aimed at developing some kind of insights into policy. So these are the locations, the dots are the locations in the south, in the middle of the country, and then on the eastern side and the northern side. So the first one of the PhD studies is in the Himalayan regions. It's basically looking at not only SRI, but after introduction of SRI, how those practices are actually shaping up other systems, the systems of not only rice but also wheat. So how those transitions are induced into the local agriculture. So this study is to characterize the adaptations of SRA in both rice and wheat systems. Devashish is one of the colleagues who is pursuing that up in the north, And in the east, Sabarmati is a colleague who is pursuing this thing. She basically looking at how the labor dynamics operates in SRI, because fundamentally the skill and labor is the way that's at the core of the of SRI innovation. So how these dynamics operate, how SRI is shaping up the labor patterns, and how labor are shaping up SRI as a technical phenomenon. This is she's studying this in the eastern part of the country, and in the southern part of the country, Pushpa is looking at the communication pathways, analyzing different institutions, the networks, the communication pathways, and then how that is shaping up SRA. And I am looking at assessing and accounting for spread of new rice cultivations. Basically looking at the drivers, both economic drivers at the farm level, at the policy level, at the society level, what actually is propelling these things. I'm trying to looking at those drivers. So along with these 4 PhD students, Ezra is looking at capturing the quantitative aspects of SRA in terms of agroecological context, in terms of technologies, in terms of micro-institutional characteristics, and how these contribute to spread of SRA. That is a quantitative study. And Dominic is looking at a comparative political, economic, historical, and institutional analysis of change in rice cultivation practices across different Indian settings. So these are the 4 PhD studies and 2 postdoc studies. And then the study will be capturing different agroecological settings. One up in the north, in the Himalayan regions, you can see the terrace, small farms, mostly, almost all rain-fed conditions in high rainfall regions. Basically, rice is there for mostly self-consumption and by family labor, by and large. In the eastern region also, it's a subhumid region with high rainfall, predominantly tribal regions where the study will be covering, and mostly family labor centered rice production. In the southern, you can see it's all irrigated, intensive irrigation areas where 2 or 3 crops are taken up. It's basically rice is a commercial crop there, and then family labor plus labor markets operate there strongly. And in the state of Andhra Pradesh, basically it's a semi-arid region, low rainfall region, and then groundwater irrigation is the basis. So in that, rice is also a commercial crop, plus the hired labor and family labor together operates. So these are the different agroecological settings in which the studies will be taken up intensively, and then we will have a comparative perspective across all these regions. It profiles, it captures the agrogeography, it captures the societal dynamics, the economic factors, the institutional factors. In Wageningen and in India, these are the people who will be associated with the study. And then if I can just end the whole thing with showing these 2. This is the conventional transplantation at the bottom, and that is SRA transplantation. I just want to present this visual for your imagination. That's all I have to say.